Did it matter to the left in these debates who, quote unquote, started the war? Was this an issue that made any difference?
That's interesting because actually, this debates that we are having today, who started the war, the just war, war of defense, is something that it has been debated, again, not only in theory, but concretely in very dramatic historical circumstances by the left. I will bring the example of the most important French socialist leader at the time, Jean Jaurès. In 1911, he wrote an important book in which he was in favor of this defensive war, and the case was the defense from somebody who had started the war. So it is very similar to the case that we are debating today with Russia and Ukraine. But actually, once again, Rosa Luxemburg was very brilliant in her critical analysis of this position, because Rosa Luxemburg wrote that it is not easy to say who really started the war, and if there are stratagems adopted by a country to make another country start a war. So you cannot measure with the yardstick of justice or through a scheme of defense and aggression about these things of war. And there is another woman, wonderful that this is coming from two women, and wonderful, as I mentioned before, that the struggle against militarism was essential for the struggle against patriarchy. The other person is Simone Weil. Reflection on War in 1933, a very small but brilliant contribution article that she wrote. She's going against this ideology of violence, and she wrote that no matter what name it may take, fascism, liberalism, dictatorship of the proletariat, the principal enemy is the administrative, policy, and military apparatus. And war is, of course, the biggest moment in which this apparatus is growing and taking more power on self-emancipation of workers and citizens.
How do you understand what the left is doing in relationship to the Ukraine war, and what is your own view as to what the left's position ought to be?
I will say that there are mainly three positions. The first one is a position with which I don't agree. That is a position of not condemning very clearly Russia. There is this idea United States have done the same, or they will have responded in the same way if they were at risk of its security. But in my opinion, this kind of position will make difficult to denunciate later possible future act of aggression committed by anybody. And Lenin himself is in favor of self-determination, and why you should suggest that anything different and give this to the nationalist government of Putin. But there is a second position that is also very dangerous, and it's the position of the left, including in the radical left, that is becoming directly or indirectly co-belligerents. We have seen this many times in the past years. In Italy, supporting the war of Kosovo, or today with Podemos in Spain, or the Left Alliance in Finland, they are all clapping their hands to this militarist discourse that Zelensky is doing in many European parliaments. And I believe that the left cannot have this idea, the famous motto of Clausewitz, the continuation, war is a continuation of the politics by other means. The left should believe that war is the failure of politics, and the left should have very clear that on its banners, the war, anti-militarism, and not to war are essential, dramatically essential.